gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night. And when
Alright, we just finished our dinner tonight, and we started off on the topic of the day after tomorrow we are cutting down our Christmas tree that I went and got a permit for. And I am really excited about this family experience because it has been on my bucket list for quite a while. So Luke has said that once it's done, it's crossed off. He's done after this. Are you guys worried?
No, I'm not worried because you're going to cut it down. Lincoln's going to drag it out of the forest. And Kenya's going to load it on the truck.
I'm not going to drag it. I'm going to ride it.
I'm going to keep the car warm for y'all.
I'm just slightly concerned. I just want everybody to make this a memorable moment. I told Luke, this is going to be memories that we have that hopefully we will talk about years from now.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about it years from now.
We are getting ready to probably head to the store to purchase the saw that we are using to cut the tree down. And we're going to use the tree cutting expert over there.
I'm just saying, whatever tree we get, better be really close to the road. I think we need about a 6-foot tree, maybe 7.
Okay, and that's the other thing. Luke has said we are bringing a measuring tape because he thinks when I get out there, I'm going to say that's too small. I will not.
Another thing, you want to be
Yeah,
careful.
it's got to be up on the stand.
Well, no, you got to be careful. You know, if you don't get a very big saw, that kind of limits to the size of the tree that you can take home.
Well, you can't.
Oh, no. Okay.
The problem is you can't take more than a 6-inch diameter trunk. But I found out today from my friend at work that apparently his tree was smaller than 6-inch diameter trunk, and it was 18 feet tall. So it doesn't really matter because they can grow tall, really tall on a small trunk.
But
and
if
then
you get a really short saw blade, there's only so big a tree you got.
Well, then I'm bringing my pocket knife.
So we are 2 days away from the big event, and I am getting more and more excited with each approaching moment. And I have a few surprises planned for all these people at the table that they have no idea about.
This is enough of a surprise. We don't need any other surprises.
Wait.
Unless your surprise is a chainsaw, I'm not interested in it.
Actually, chainsaws are prohibited. You're not allowed to use chainsaws,
They won't catch us.
snowmobiles.
What if we just tie a rope to it and tie it to your truck and drive away quick?
I think, Mom, that we should listen to old-fashioned Christmas music, like talking Bing Crosby, bring a large glass of eggnog.
You're all about the experience, just like your mother. I know where you get.
And then we should chop it down with an axe.
No
I had thought about
axe. No axe.
Here's the reason why Luke is reluctant. Luke, from your perspective, because you were the one in the bucket, and so we have this for memories to come that your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren can tell this story. I have gotten Luke into more Christmas trouble than ever possible. So you are now going to hear the great story of the hydraulic lift failure.
So, first of all, it's like the movie Christmas Vacation, except instead of me being Clark Griswold getting myself into trouble, my wife is the one getting me into trouble. So one year Jill really wanted Christmas lights on the house, and so she talked me into renting a hydraulic lift that tows behind your car to hang the Christmas lights, because we had a really tall house, so there's no way we could do it with a ladder or me climbing on the roof, which would have been much safer, by the way, than what eventually happened.
I wanted to make sure you could get the highest peak.
So we rented a hydraulic lift from a rental company, and we went to pick it up. And the first sign of trouble was when the guys didn't seem to know what they were doing that ran the rental place, and they hooked up the trailer or the hydraulic lift to the back of our SUV, and we got about 3 blocks down the road, and the hitch wasn't even on, and it came off, And thankfully they hooked the chains up, but even that didn't prevent it from slamming into the back of our car, causing a couple $100 worth of damage to the back of our car.
You should have just taken it back.
At that point, I should have done a U-turn, gone back and taken it
But
back.
because he loves his wife.
So we kept going and we went home, and that night I got up in the bucket without a safety harness of any sort.
Or a helmet.
And a helmet, which I would have paid money for a helmet. And I lifted myself up 30 feet in the air or so, and in this bucket, and everything was going relatively well. We had to reposition the crane a couple times and the bucket lift, and then all of a sudden I was way up there and I started to move it and it wouldn't respond to my control input, and it just started sliding and dropping and sliding and dropping, and all of a sudden gravity pulled that whole thing all the way down, and I couldn't control it at all. It was just falling, free falling. And so as my life is flashing before my eyes, as the bucket is falling and the hydraulics are failing, I'm thinking, this is how I'm going to end it all. Hanging Christmas lights. And then I grab onto the arm of the bucket and I just squeeze it for dear life, hoping that it's not going to stop suddenly and me go flying out of a 30-foot bucket. And it just came to like a nice, gentle rest after I panicked, of course. And then I lowered the bucket and I got down and I didn't want to get back in the bucket again.
Did you kiss the ground?
I was very happy to be alive.
What was I doing that whole time? Screaming,
Laughing.
Luke!
You were laughing. I think you were laughing at
I
me.
was not.
So it was a terrible experience. I have nightmares about it every once in a while.
I just couldn't figure out what you were doing and why you kept swinging the bucket.
It was awful. So never again are we renting a crane lift to hang Christmas lights.
So because of that trauma that I've caused to my husband, I will never have our entire roof decked out like all the way to the highest point in Christmas lights, which I'm fine. I'm just glad I still have my husband here.
I'm glad to be alive.
And I hope he's found it in his heart to forgive me.
Yes, but I'll never look at a crane hydraulic lift the same way.
We are going to have an adventure.
So the countdown to Operation
Countdown to the cut down.
Countdown to the Operation Cut Down has begun. We are all in the car. It's the eve before we go chop down our first ever live Christmas tree.
We're not chopping it down. There's no axe involved. You don't chop it with the saw.
Okay, before we go cut down our first ever Camp David Christmas tree, we have the whole crew to help us pick out the saw. Why don't you, if you have a cutting down a Christmas tree experience, share it with us down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And if it was one of the best things that your family has memories of, or
one of the worst.
Or one of the worst. Just share your memories with us, and we'd like to know.
But
There, that's perfect.
That's a bow saw, yeah.
Do they like have a logger saw?
I like that one. Yeah,
Feel the offset in the teeth.
It's still with me.
The thing I like about this, it's multi-purpose.
Yeah, but I only have one purpose.
We're running
You
it.
can cut that whole tree down with that thing? Alright, you're gonna do it then.
All right, guys, I just added one more extra tarp to the car. And I'm also grabbing the sled. I don't know, maybe it'll help move the tree out easier, I'm thinking. So I've got well, it's not it's the kids' sled. So I'm gonna put this in. So we went and bought a bow saw at Home Depot, and if you guys have never done this and you're thinking about doing it, the first thing you have to do is check and make sure you don't need a permit. I'll put a link into that video down below how I went and got our permit for this. You want to check with your forest area. And the sled's not gonna fit. But I'll put a link to that video down below when the kids and I went and got the permit for our tree. And then the other thing that we picked up at Home Depot was, I had already said the bow saw. We got another tarp and rope to tie the tree. And we're making sure, yes, we are in a four-wheel drive vehicle because the snow's gonna probably be pretty deep when we get up there. And we're planning on leaving by 6:30 in the morning so we get this done because we have some other things tomorrow afternoon to do. But we are looking forward to this. I have always dreamed of doing this and I can't wait to have this experience with my family.